one waterfall set. Kind of up there where that liner's all folded up. So we're shooting the grade back for our next waterfall. It's probably going to end up being somewhere in here where my blade is. And for you that don't know, that metal part there that I have down, or like I can raise that up, it's for stability and what have you. We use it for grading every once in a while. That's the blade. So we're gonna have another waterfall come in, probably somewhere in there, and then shoot that grade back, set a waterfall, then that's where our basin's gonna go on the hillside of that fall. So it's crazy, all this work we're doing now. It's not gonna be turned on. It's not part of our water feature, so we're building all these cool waterfalls and we're not gonna really know what they look like running until she gets a heavy rain and everything overflows our closed system. So this is the part I was talking about yesterday for her rain drainage situation out here. These falls will be functional during heavy rains. So kind of a bummer that we don't get to see them, but it is all good. We'll see them in our minds when we build them. The crew just ran into probably the biggest anthill we've seen all year, so. Hey, can you guys take all those little rocks off and fold that back probably another 15 feet? Thank you, thank you. So this small machine here actually works a little better in this spot just because I'm so close to the fence line. Turning how I'm doing now, it's a little different with that one. It sticks out when you rotate, like the butt. I think it's actually the side where the engine is. Like when you rotate, it sticks out past the track line. This one doesn't, so that's why I'm using the little one right here instead of the big one. I just like being right here in front of this grade so I can see exactly where it's coming in at instead of trying to dig this thing from the side. I like it. It's a little preference. It'd probably be a little faster with the bigger one because it's got a bigger bucket on it, but we're using that thing for setting some of these big rocks. So it's being used, just not at the moment. Like a lot of those rocks down there we set with the big machine just because it had nicer reach, and it's just a lot more comfortable to set bigger stone with that thing than this, because this machine can handle rock that size. It's just a little bit of a tipping motion that comes with it, and I'm not going to deal with that if I don't have to. So the goal is for the day to get all the stream and waterfalls built up to the point where our aqua block system's going in, our reservoir for this thing. So I think tomorrow we're going to be tackling the reservoir. I think that's a good goal to have. So by Monday, when we come back out here, we're either building waterfalls that are going into our reservoir, or if we get far enough on Friday, we'll be building the stream part of it. So it's nice. The whole time I'm digging, we have the transit set to the elevation of that next shelf. Is that it right there? Perfect. What Nick's doing, Nick's checking the elevation to make sure that whole plateau is going to be nice and level. One thing you don't want to do on a stream part of a pondless waterfall, or just any stream in general, is give it a pitch to the next waterfall. It looks way more natural and clean when it's either flat or it has a negative, like a reverse pitch to it. You get a little bit more pooling. You want that water to kind of fill up and then find the low point, which is our waterfall stone. Everything just moves more naturally when that happens, instead of having an intentional directional pitch to the low point, our waterfall stone. So as I'm digging, they're constantly raking behind me and checking the elevation to make sure that we're good to go. I'm going to start carving. Found a little old gravel pocket. Pain in the butt. All this trash liner and stuff here. This is probably all from the old system. You can just see how this kind of stuff just deteriorates. Like over time, it's all cracked and torn, and it's got roots through it. We don't want any of that stuff. So all this extra dirt that we got, I'm just going to be continuously pushing up behind me. I don't think we're going to take a single bit of dirt out of this job. We might be bringing some in, if anything, just because we're going to have to start making these different elevation changes, and it's all going to be retained by stones coming off of our stream and waterfalls. So for right now, its home is just simply somewhere over there. The dry creek, I'm calling it the dry creek. It's the space between the pond edge and where our basin's going to be. We finished that up just this morning, so it looks just like a normal stream. You know, it has the underlayment, the liner, all that good stuff. And you can see we set some larger stones, just like actually in the pond, and that's there to help. Like right in the middle of the entrance is what I'm talking about. There's a big one that's kind of cresting up out and over the water, which has a cool look in itself. But that rock, and there's a couple others that are there solely to help for erosion. Because what we don't want to do is when it starts pouring down rain and that dry creek area turns into an actual functional stream, we don't want it eroding out the bank of her natural bottom pond. So we put some large rocks in there just to help retain sediment and retain all the gravel and stone that we did. So we set, there's 3 large ones. You can see one in the middle pretty well, but there's 2 other big ones just as big as that one on either side of it. And then in between that and on top of the sediment, we dumped a bunch of cobbles, you know, anywhere from like grapefruit size up to probably like a basketball sized rock down there. We got a couple buckets of that down there, and then we topped it off with gravel. So, you know, the sediment's gonna build on it, that's fine, that's gonna happen, but it's just gonna help preserve the integrity of everything that we just built there. So that's what that is. And that's always a tricky little spot, so it took a little longer than a normal stream that we would build. I think this is kind of where I want things to go here. I'm gonna hop down and take a look and kind of explain what is going through my mind right now. Ooh. Yep. So that one was supposed to be an 8-inch fall going in there. I think we went a little bit bigger. So this one's gonna be
I think we were talking about 12 inches. Yeah.
It was 3 foot, and then you take the 8-inch fall. That leaves you 28 inches, so that'd be 2 14-inch falls if you split them up.
Yeah, so if we do, we might change it from the original 12.
Yeah.
So that'll be that, and then we'll carve into there. I kind of want to do like more of a turn, but it's going to get tricky because wherever that basin ends up, this first piece of liner, this first piece of liner can't be all weird and stuff because it's going to be at an overlap and stuff. So
right.
I think this is a good spot to kind of stop.
Well, I think that liner only came to about like right here anyway, so that might work out good.
Yeah.
You want to roll that out and see how far we can go?
Yeah, I want to finish this grade off.
Yeah.
Make sure this is good and how we want it, and then we'll do our underlayment, and then we'll fold everything back and see what's up.
On that laser, please.
Yep. It's already on.
Oh, is it? Perfect. It's right there in front of you.
It's fine if we're low. Okay. Yeah, this is fine.
All right, so you want us to give this a tamp?
Yeah, we'll tamp it. Let's pull all this gravel out that we can see. So you want to pull the gravel out of the streams and everything when you're building, because once you have a rock, rubber liner, and then you go to set another rock on it, that's a really bad combination. It'll leave you with a pinch point. It could pop a hole in the liner. So getting rocks out is just as important as trimming like some big roots and stuff off the sides. But with this, we over excavated this whole area, so our rocks are going to be set off this wall. I'm not too worried with that. We'll do some pruning, but not as extensive as it would be like in a pond edge where you're physically setting rock and like using the wall to hold stuff up. So it's a little different. We'll set the back of the stones more out here, right? And then all this area will just get dirt and backfilled to it. It's crazy to like, just to the naked eye, without like a transit or an elevation, guide or anything. It's hard to see how much fall just from where Nick is down there to here. You would never imagine you would have this large step off. When you start using the lasers and stuff, it starts telling you all this information, and it never matches with what you can see with your eyes. It's crazy. So once we start getting up there, I mean, it's really going to show itself how much fall we have in this whole project.